When there's an injustice, whether it's against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down. Don't sit down on them because they need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet, and we have finally gotten justice for Johnny Depp. Oh my God, it feels so good to say it, to have it. I got to adjust my graphics. I will. I didn't have a chance today. I'm sorry we're starting late today. Oh boy, did I have an afternoon, guys, and I will reveal a little bit about what happened here. I'm here with Kim. Welcome, it's Kim to the show.
Hello.
Thank you for being here, Kim. Look, I want to talk today. We're going to stay on topic. I almost pivoted, but we're not going to do it today. We may pivot tomorrow, but I want to include this part of the conversation today of Amber fans, guys, are out there doing something I don't approve of. And a lot of people have been sending me this, and I saw a group on Twitter that were having a conversation. These fans, these Amber fans were let me on to get involved in the conversation, and I let my opinions be heard. And I tried to hear their opinions. It became a bit of a mess. I did record it. I'm debating how I'm going to release this, if we will. I'm currently, our editing team is looking at it through me to see how we can do. Someone else may try, and I hope they won't. I'd like to organize this if I properly do it. And honestly, I'd like to invite those people potentially on to have a proper conversation, because I don't feel like we had one, and I don't know if we're gonna. So we'll come to that in a minute. We'll explain more. But for those of you who caught where I was and did hear it, I've gotten a lot of messages calling me brave and whatnot for what transpired. But I'm not sorry to tease and everything else. But stay tuned. I am figuring out the best way to present this fairly. And also, like we said, Kim, I feel like I'm a hypocrite if I don't hear all sides, right? And I've said numerous times, if Amber Heard fans want to come on and offer their perspective, well, then I got to let that happen, and I'm all for it. But what Amber fans are resorting right now, which includes HARM, got to be careful in how I say it, in honor of Amber and the loss. That's where I draw a line, and pun, didn't even mean that pun, but yeah, it's really disturbing, guys. It's really disturbing, and I know it's going to trigger some people. And so, give us the day. We will figure out how to handle this, and let me see if I can get them to come on for an actual civil conversation, if that's possible. I'd love to try it. But for those of you wondering why I'm late and what happened, there was some drama this morning. We may touch upon as well as we get going. But what I really want to focus and keep the ship steered today, Kim, on our topic today is how the media and all the reactions have been handling the verdict. And we had two interviews that Elaine Bredehoft went on Today's Show and CBS this morning. And my gosh, not only was I frustrated with Elaine, which I posted a video earlier. You can see the video where I reacted to Elaine's first Today's Show interview, which I highly encourage you to check out. I'm mad at the press. What a surprise, Kim, that the press is spinning this in a way to still make both sides guilty. They still, even after this win, can't really accept the reality, and they're allowing Elaine to spin just more lies out there to sort of justify why it went the way it did. So we're going to break all this down. I'm so excited to break it down with you, but I'm also extremely excited to say we have a sponsor back. Oh my God, get the pouch ready. Pouch. Guys, you were so amazing. Our sponsor is back. I gotta give a huge shout out to Sheath Underwear. I am officially wearing Sheath underwear. Yes, I told you it was my favorite. I am not lying. It is so comfortable. It is so soft. And yes, fellas, it's got the dual pouch compartments. Not to get too specific, but yeah, your boys, the whole package, they got separate places to go, and I never knew how comfortable it would be to give me the freedom, justice for my boys. It's so comfortable. Look at this, model spandex fabric, the cool to the touch, but absorption. I'm not just saying this because they're paying me. I'm saying because I like it, and not only do I like it, but they liked you guys. They're like, oh my God, your fans bought a lot of Sheath, so let's do another one. I was like, yes, please. What a success. I couldn't do anything we do here without your help, and I don't want any products in here that I don't endorse and think actually are cool, fun products. And I'm telling you guys, Sheath underwear is worthy of an experiment. If you got a fella in your house and you want to surprise them with this, try it out. They can use the pouches and see if it helps. It's really, I'm supposed to read a script, but Sheath, give me let me do my own thing, because I think I can sell this better. Look, it's like the mixture of boxers and briefs. Like, because sometimes the briefs are too tight, and then sometimes the boxers are too loose. I've never found a perfect medium beyond sheath, and if you haven't ever tried it, I implore you to check it out. And it's not just, first of all, if you want to order this, and you're going to go to Sheath Underwear, the mods are sharing, make sure you use code POPCORNED. Popcorn and then ED. Popcorn, you will get, I forget how much is it. I should have had that prepared. You will get 20% off your order if you use code Popcorn. So make sure you use the code. That's how they also know you're coming from me, and we can support it. But guys, we got justice. We did so much, and I want to thank the sponsors that are stepping up to cover our coverage. We got to give them lots of love, and Sheath has done this now by coming back. That's a good sign, and I really like this. I really like the bamboo. The bamboo ones are really even nicer, but they're all nice. They sent me all of them. In fact, I just got the package here. I know I'm talking, but look, I'm supposed to give them a short plug, but when I really like something, I'm going to give them the full plug. And I think my Johnny also got the ladies. They got ladies stuff. She really liked it, so I got another sports top for her and bottoms for her because she, it's not to over reveal, but she likes to wear my boxers. She does, Kim. But hey, some more. But they come in these nice. They come in these nice packages. So let me just open one so you see how it works. They come in the nice packages. These came really fast. I was impressed. They came right today. They ordered the other day. And yeah, guys, it comes in. You unfold it. Boom. They got the instructions, how it works, where to put things. But there it is. It's super comfy. You can see the pouch design. It's got like a pouch, and then it's got a little hole, and then you're covered in both areas. And yeah, it's really nice. It's super soft, comfortable. I don't feel like it doesn't get like sweaty. I like the design. It's just a really nice, clever way to like make underwear better. So guys, yeah, thank you for hearing me out and letting me tell you about my sponsor, Sheath Underwear. Really, really advise you check it out. Get a pair or get another pair if you already did. Again, use code POPCORN at checkout to save 20%. Again, these really are my favorite go-to underwears now. Well, I need them. I hope they'll keep sending me more, or I need to buy some more because now I want to throw all the other ones away. So give Sheath a shot. And ladies, again, when you go to the store, you can go over the women's side. They got a lot of fun stuff you can try as well. And Johnny approved as well that she really liked the boy shorts and whatnot because I know we have a lot of women watching as well. You can buy for your man or buy for yourself, various sizes and styles. Please support our sponsors because they believe in us, and I appreciate you guys. Sheath Underwear. You're amazing. We'll call them again later, but again, pouch. Thank you so much, Sheath Underwear, and thank you guys for tuning in and hearing us out as we get our sponsors because again, it helps us get where we're at. We couldn't do any of this without you. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. And who wears their boyfriend or husband's boxers? I'm curious. I see a couple of you admitting it. Who else does that? Is that a trend, ladies? You do? Yeah, you like that? It's just something that works. So there you go. Thank you guys for helping us and everything else. All right, let's get to this main event, shall we? Top story today. This is an important one because yes, he got the verdict. Yes, Johnny got his justice. I think it sort of doesn't matter at this point because he got it. I think all the studios and everybody realized, crap, we bet the wrong way. The people have spoken. But the media, when they get it wrong, Kim, they don't like having egg on their face. Like I know this from experience. No. They do not want to go back and correct stories they've done, being like, oh, sorry, we were wrong, guys. Hey, looks like we had it all off, but hey, bravo. They don't like to do it. And so it's very telling when you see Elaine now doing a press tour around all the morning shows, which she's doing. And the first one up was Today's Show, but since I watched that earlier, I wanted to focus on this CBS Morning with Gayle King. Oh, Gayle. I really liked what Gayle did with R. Kelly. I really felt like she was fair, calm, and got him to just blow up and sort of expose R. Kelly. Do you remember that moment, Kim? I feel like that was just impeccable journalism. She sat there, no fear. That iconic shot of him just, right? And she's just like sitting there like, Gayle King can do good. I really do. So no, before I'm prefacing, like, I've been a fan at times of the way she's handled certain things, I think, as well. However, there have been numerous instances where she's not been as fair, in my opinion, and you're about to see another one. I feel like for in journalists such as her, she should be asking tougher questions, or at least have her team prepare some tougher questions to really put Elaine on the thing. And they never do it. They don't do it this whole time. One of the guys tries to, but let's watch this. We're going to start and stop so we can give you a proper reaction. Here is Elaine doing her second stop on her press tour to tell you that the whole world is lying and Amber's being completely misunderstood. Everyone else is not telling the truth. Only Amber is. And this is a shot for victims everywhere.
To side with Johnny Depp in his defamation lawsuit is is drawing both condemnation and praise. The verdict came after 6 weeks of very dramatic testimony from both sides. She claimed that he abused her while he said she was the abuser. In his reaction, Depp wrote, "The goal of bringing the case was to reveal the truth, and that truth never perishes." Elaine Bredehoft is the attorney for Amber Heard and is with us now. And we should mention, we did also reach out to Johnny Depp's team, but they declined to be interviewed this morning. Elaine.
I already got to pause. Now, just by pointing that out, I think it's very telling. You know why they probably have opposed? Because they're done. Why keep making this a story? Johnny probably told them, no, we don't need to say anything else. We're not going out there. But it's already now going to be spin, or they don't want to comment. I'm sure they would happily comment. And I hope they do after seeing some of these pieces. They can get maybe the second word. But already out the gate, if you didn't miss it, it's important. Gail decided to say, Johnny's team didn't come on our show. Is already like a shot at them, which I hope you guys noticed. But now Elaine did, of course.
Thank you. We're so very glad you're here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We heard.
I was going to say, in all fairness, I don't think Johnny's team really needed to, because they did make a statement. They made one yesterday.
Yep, true.
And Elaine's lawyers did not. They all just ran away. And they didn't say anything. So they've said, Johnny's team has said what they needed to say. And apparently Elaine needs a whole media tour to be able to say what she wants to say. She's getting her 15 minutes or whatever, and she's going to do her own thing.
Well, it's also just for pausing. It's also important to realize we talked about it this morning, and thanks to everybody who tuned in about the appeal. Christopher Melcher pointed out something so perfectly. I didn't even think about it, but he was so spot on. Just the whole idea of doing an appeal, it's just a press tactic. Like literally, that's why you do the appeal right away. It's standard on everybody. You just immediately say, we're going to appeal this decision because it's wrong. There's no actual way they're going to do well in that appeal. Everyone I've spoken to, it's incredibly difficult for Amber to actually get an appeal through. It's just, there was nothing like the judge did wrong. You're going to hear what Elaine's reason is, but you literally just say we're going to appeal because it's a great little press tactic that then the PR team can go out and say, oh, no, we're appealing. Appeals take forever. They're very hard to get. Just because you hear that a lot, just take a breath. It doesn't mean anything. It's a PR tactic for them to spin it to try to say, oh, see, Amber was wrong. That's why we're appealing this. So keep that in mind as you hear all this. But here we go. We're back to the interview.
Morning. Elaine, thank you. We're so very glad you're here.
Thank you.
We heard Amber's reaction to the verdict yesterday. This seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
Yeah, a major setback for women inside the courtroom and outside the courtroom.
Because?
Because basically what this said, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But
bullshit. Already going to go. You're going to hear this talking point. She does it in both shows. Kim, we had a mountain of evidence. So much of it was suppressed. I mean, it would be a clear-cut case if we have gotten all of our evidence in. What evidence? What didn't get in that you're speaking about?
What was missing?
What
other
was
than
the
therapy
smoking gun
notes?
that didn't get in that would have made the juror change their mind and believe the liar? There isn't any. She's just going to keep telling you that there is. But there isn't any. Notice if she had some really damning evidence, like there were photos, if she was, Kim, I gotta be honest, if she was like, listen, there were photos where we had Johnny doing it and we had scars delivered the day after and they wouldn't let if they had something damning, then I would be like, well, shit, yeah, right. And I would be sure to say it specifically in the interview to Gail. Guys, they didn't even let us bring in this, or they didn't let us bring in that. She's just speaking broadly and vaguely to try to get sympathy and you're going to hear it happen throughout this interview. So pardon me for my interruptions, but I also have to offer commentary or it's not fair use. Yeah. Get ready for just spin.
look at all the women who have no evidence. All these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse, they don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine, I think...
Hold on. Did you hear that, Kim?
Yes, I did.
She's literally now saying, because Amber Heard lost, all victims, all people, whoever, they're all gonna lose because they didn't film it directly. That is such horseshit. Now, I understand it's hard. It is hard for a lot of women to prove it, right? I don't want to sugarcoat that. I get it. It's a lot of police don't even believe it, right? There are horror stories for women who actually are, go through it. And I don't believe Amber did, but women who go through it and how they never are believed. Court systems and cops don't always support the victims. I wholeheartedly believe that, and it sucks. We got to figure out better ways to do it. However, this idea that no, women aren't believed without evidence, that's bullshit. There's plenty of people who have been able to prove it through other, evidence, or at least like text messages or aggressive things or witnesses or things that have helped create restraining orders that stick, right? Unlike Amber's, etc., that actually work. Go ahead, Kim.
I'm gonna be blunt. Andy, you've known me for a while. You know something happened to me.
Yep.
Do you believe something happened to me?
Yes.
Why do you believe something happened to me?
Because you're a sincere, kind person. When you tell me the story, you do it actually, with emotion that I believe.
Do I contradict myself?
No.
Do I change my story?
Nope.
Am I a credible person to speak with?
Yes.
That's why Amber lost. Never mind the evidence. Never mind this didn't get to come in and whatever. If you change your story so many times, if you contradict your own witnesses, that was what happened. It had nothing to do with pictures or whatever. She relied on rumors, like with Kate Moss, to justify her thinking. And everything fell down around her because she was lying. That's what hurt us. That's what hurt survivors, not the verdict. She hurt us. I'm so tired of hearing anything different than that.
Well said. Yeah, this idea that no, Kim, we can't believe you now because, well, Amber didn't get it. Amber was a lie. Like, it was so clear as day. And let's keep playing because I think this one pushes back. Well, the jury, didn't believe it.
I think it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
Now, good question. Good question. Let's see if she pushes this harder.
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And it's not only not
she's
I mean, not really, Gail.
Yeah, but she's a celebrity too.
right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of proof was on the son in the UK because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then.
No, he didn't.
And
Talk about suppressed evidence.
week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different.
Well, trust me, I'm going to play, but I think it's important we start and stop some of this stuff. Thank God you weren't allowed to tell the jury that because that would create bias based on a different court system than the American court system. That was one judge. This was a jury. You had the same evidence, Elaine. You had the same opportunity, Elaine. I could say the same thing back at you. One person, one judge who many of us find corrupt, who had connections to Rupert Murdoch, which owns the Sun. I'm sorry. Johnny has the right to appeal and have another shot. And also, it wasn't Amber's case. It was the Sun's case. And you're proving how intertwined you allowed, or I guess maybe she didn't, but they allowed Amber to get involved to really knock Johnny down. And I honestly think, because the magazine's there and Amber came and brought that the judge just believed all women. That's really what happened in that case. And this case proved, well, no, the real people of the world, the jury, who I don't believe were biased towards Johnny Depp. I don't buy that. That's not this idea. Notice how she jumped from that. The question asked was, well, she's a celebrity too.
Mr. Depp brought that one.
Me too.
And
How does-
it's not only
Wait,
not
but she's
believing
a
her.
but she's a celebrity too.
Right.
She's a celebrity too. Why? Yeah, you said she lost because Johnny's a celebrity. What does Elaine do?
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials.
Spin to talking point that she's prepared because says this in every interview. It's a tale of two trials. Because Johnny lost in the UK trial, he should lose all trials, Kim, is what Elaine's now saying in this talking point.
All the evidence came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought.
That's not true, by the way. First of all, where are Amber's text messages?
Yep.
Where are Amber's text messages? Oh, also, I think, didn't that body cam or something? There was a lot. I'm sorry. I'm so tired through it all. There was a lot of stuff that didn't come through. That's a complete lie. There were also proof that she didn't pay the payments, which the judge made a point of saying, well, you don't seem like a gold digger because you gave all the money away. And then they found out she didn't, and the judge ignored that and still didn't let Johnny appeal it. That judge didn't give a crap about the evidence. He didn't care at all about the evidence. There was no, as we've just proven this trial, none of the evidence proved any of it. It really didn't. It was sickening.
And to be fair, there's also a good amount of evidence on Johnny's side that was not allowed to enter the courtroom either.
Right.
For me, some of the most damning pieces of evidence that helped, because I am not a diehard Johnny Depp fan. Believe it or not. I am not a Johnny stan. I never have been. But when I saw the text messages between Johnny and Paige, Amber's mom, and the tape from Australia where you hear Dr. Kipper,
which they're saying didn't get into the UK trial, just so we're clear. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah. I mean, those pieces, for me, that was what totally made me go. So, okay, you didn't get some evidence and he didn't get some evidence. All right. I don't see what the difference is, you know?
She keeps claiming like there's some sort of smoking gun that is why. No. But again, no substance to anything Elaine or Amber ever say.
That came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system.
He lost.
Yeah, this is really important.
Violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then. And a 3-week trial, he lost.
3-week trial, as opposed to 6 weeks, smaller, shorter, not a jury. One judge can be biased, Elaine, and he's supposed to be just, his whole life is defined by that one judge. Cool, Elaine, I bet you'd love that if you lost from that judge.
The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence, and that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge, it wasn't a jury, it was a judge.
Thank you. Someone trying to at least offer some semblance of truth.
Said it was substantially true.
Substantially true.
And that's...
It was about a publication. It was a different, whole different beast.
That is significant, and I think surprised a lot of legal analysts. But, you know, in this case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause harm, right? That's a pretty high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since the op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp. You have to remember that. What they learned from the UK
Who else was she married to?
Amber, which is what they did, and to try to suppress as much of the evidence that came in the UK and did not come in the United States. But
I thought didn't she just say all the evidence came in the UK? Right? And now she's saying they suppressed evidence in the UK. She can't even get her own story straight.
In the UK and did not come in the United States. But the other problem is we had cameras in the courtroom. So here we had, not only did we have a group of Depp fans that were there every day, 100 were allowed in. They lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning for their wristbands.
Because that was the only way to get in the court, Elaine.
Be in that courtroom.
No one wanted to do that.
We had everything on camera, and we had tremendous social media that was very, very, very much against Amber.
It was pointed out that that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
And I fought hard and lost that battle. It should not have happened.
So I am a former NFL player, and after a hard loss, it's easy to wake up and point to the other side. Oftentimes, I realized the better thing to do was to look in the mirror. What mistakes did I make as a player? What mistakes did our coaching staff make? And then how can we improve from there? Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like Amber made a mistake while she was on the stand? Because you're saying it's the celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him. But what about you and your team?
Now, right? I was like,
my
finally,
dude!
Somebody's going to ask the question. But how do you think Elaine's going to tackle this? Do you think they're going to really hammer on this?
Well, and that's an excellent question. And to say, and you know, Amber even said on the stand, I am not perfect. I am a human being. These people were giving her death threats. They threatened to microwave her baby.
What does that have to do with the answer? What is the failures that you or Amber did? And what is her answer? She's not perfect, Kim. They tried to threaten her baby. I wish someone would be like, well, yeah, threats aside, that's not good. Nobody wants that. The question was, did you guys make any mistakes?
This is the kind of social media she was getting. So are any of us perfect? No. Is there something else we feel we should have done? Yes, absolutely. I redo my closings 100 times afterwards, whether I win or lose. That's part of being a good lawyer, a good trial lawyer, is there's always something. But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control. And I think the social media, it was like a Roman Colosseum. Is the best way to describe the atmosphere here. And I have to believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weekends, they have families, they have social
they were not
media.
sequestered. They were not sequestered.
And the 10-day period we had, how could they not have been influenced?
But Elaine, for most people watching this trial, and a lot of people, as you know, got huge views. It just seemed to be so messy and salacious and so tawdry on both sides. On both sides. And I think for a lot of people from the outside looking in thought both of them were not telling the truth and that they mutually abused each other. Do you not believe that that was the case?
No, and that's one of the many misnomers. The way that Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence.
Oh. Get ready, guys.
It completely ignored the cycle of violence and just said, oh, she wouldn't have done this if he had been hitting her. That was their approach.
So you thought that they weren't fighting fair?
Correct. I don't think they were fighting fair.
And you think
absolutely.
Amber Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence?
Yes, I absolutely believe that. And there's a tremendous amount of evidence, much of which did not come into this trial, did come into the UK trial. We even had more evidence. We had medical records. We had mental health records that went back to 2012 that were contemporaneous. We had text messages.
So the medical records she's referring to, Kim, her therapist.
Therapist notes.
She told her therapist something. Oh, my God. Those medical records would have cleared up everything because Amber told a therapist something. This is a woman who's literally, seemingly, and the jury agreed, lied on the stand about SV. And we're supposed to believe that her telling a therapist was the smoking gun medical records that should have told the jury she was telling the truth? This is insane.
From Mr. Depp's assistant saying, when I told him that he had kicked you, he cried.
So how is she today, Elaine?
Again, bringing up the text messages we couldn't let in from Johnny. I want to put it on the record again. Elaine, you didn't let a single one of Amber's texts come in because you never delivered that phone. So don't you dare try to play like, oh, we didn't get the 2 other texts. You had all his text messages. You had all his text messages, which you got accidentally. You got them all, and you were plowing through them like crazy, and you found nothing. You get nothing, sir. You found nothing. God, Kim, how many text messages do you think there are of Amber admitting to things that she probably shouldn't have admitted to?
Oh, gosh. I don't even... Enough to teach a university course. There's got to be a ton. I'm sorry. Well, okay, honestly, though, how many texts did they get of Johnny's? Wasn't it like in the thousands?
Yeah.
That there was just this magical leak that suddenly it all appeared and they had thousands of texts from him that they got to use, even though they probably were obtained in an illegal fashion? Okay. Their two biggest pieces of evidence were basically, in my opinion, I don't know how they got the text, but considering that Johnny did not hand them over, I'm going to go with they were brought in a less than honorable fashion. And then the TMZ video, which was recorded illegally.
Yep.
But that got to come in. Both of those got to come in. And you're yelling about not being able to bring in all of your evidence? My goodness, the court threw you a bone with that. Ridiculous.
It's infuriating. Again, well, my thoughts on Elaine, well, let's just finish. Here's the last bit. So nobody pushes any of it, which I wish there was, like, the football guy at least tried to, like, ask something interesting.
I like him.
Politely, he did. And I get it. On these morning shows, they're not supposed to be, like, overly aggressive, but I don't know. Ask tougher questions. Talk to somebody who actually followed the case and be like, all right, we have Elaine in tomorrow. Are there any things, like, you really like we should, like, ask to sort of prove that something wasn't right here? They don't want to do any of that work. They just want to, okay, thanks, Elaine. It's so sad. This was one of the biggest cases, and I can't even remember. You get the lead attorney to show up the next day, and none of these anchors thought, let me ask a couple fair but tough questions and actually try to push it. I've seen it happen before. She did it with R. Kelly. She was all ready to expose him, and I feel like did it fairly and did it right. But now, no, we can't ask him those questions. Here's how Gail. This is what Gail decides to do instead.
Was she today? What
How
is
is
her
Amber?
next move?
What's her move?
Right. Well, her next move is appeal. There were
But
a
she's
number.
heartbroken.
She is heartbroken. And one of the first things that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went into the conference room, was, "I am so sorry to all these women." Yes, she felt like she had let down all of these women because she had more evidence than most people do, and yet they still didn't believe her.
Elaine Bredehoft, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
My other reason why I hate the mainstream media, they have her on here and they spend 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That's it. How is this not the whole morning show? Like, I just don't understand these shows and who watches this crap. Like, does anyone actually watch these shows fully? Like, sitting there, like, we watch clips now and everything else. Like, I'd much rather, if I want to invest in a topic, have a little bit longer of a conversation about this stuff. It's so biased and frustrating. Now, beyond that, Elaine, man, I'm going to my shot. Elaine, I believed in you. I was speaking on your behalf. I had your back. I was like, you're just doing a job. You have to represent this awful woman, this evil monster. She's the monster, and you know it. You could have had a path to redemption. I mean, come on, we were pitching the book, Kim, remember? I'm trying. It would have been Elaine on the book like this. I'm trying here. We had so many opportunities here to help Elaine have that path to redemption and expose. Remember Robert Kardashian, Kim? Robert Kardashian went and did an interview with Barbara Walters because the guilt he had in backing up OJ, just he couldn't stomach it anymore, and they had a whole. That's why he lost the civil case afterwards. And I really don't believe OJ because his own best friend who was there through it all turned and was like, "Yeah, there was a lot of really sketchy stuff that went down, and I'm horrified by it. I have trouble sleeping because I was there supporting my friend." And he did it. We don't praise a lot of Kardashians on this channel, Kim, but bravo to him for coming up when he did, because I rewatched it recently. That interview is damning, and he spoke in the civil case, and he a lawyer supposed to be confidential, private, whatever. He was honest when they came forward, and Elaine could have had that same opportunity here because she knows better. But no, she's going to go do the circuit and promote this. How frustrated are you with Elaine now? Did you share some empathy before about how, look, this is a client, she's doing the job? Are you surprised to see now Elaine doing Amber's bidding still, even now afterwards, to be her face on the talk shows, trying to get some attention here? Are you as shocked as me to see this happening?
I have such mixed feelings with Elaine, because on the one hand, I feel terrible for her, because if the things that we've heard are to be believed, that she had been crying during court at points, that Amber allegedly had yelled at her at one point that people overheard, that she just, it was not a fun time for her. And this is a very hard case to take. But at the same time, I try to give her the benefit of the doubt, and then she goes and does this stuff. And it truly is like, kind of like echoing what you said before. Like, this is a Tyra Banks moment of being like, how dare you? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. As much as we poke fun and everything else, like I don't have any ill will towards Elaine, but it's like, how is this the angle that you're picking to go at? Because it falls so flat at any type of criticism. And I mean, you could even see it with the anchor who was a football player, in the sense of him just going like, where is your own accountability? And she won't take it, and neither will Amber. Where is the accountability? I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it either. I'm also, is that true? Wow.
What?
Is this chat true? I just got a chat from Big Jim. I need the team, somebody help me look into this. Paige, Amber's mom, was to be deposed. She told her BF she was done lying for Amber. 5 days later, she was dead. 1 April, I have a text from David. Amber hid it for a month, and Paige did not get the obituary or funeral she deserved. Somebody, please, I'll do a whole video on that if that's true.
Yeah, please.
So
Send
I
us
hadn't
the
heard
receipts
that.
on that one.
Big Jim,
Justice for Paige, if that's the case.
If that's the case, Big Jim, thank you for sending that over, and I saw it. I'm going to look into that, and if that's the case, I will bring it back to you guys. I put it in the Justice for Johnny producers chat rooms to help me remember. If we can find some more information and verify that, that is incredibly damning to reveal and put out there. So, my God, just more evidence piling in to show what kind of person she is. I can't even begin. Look, Elaine, best of luck, but I'm no longer a fan. You have choices you can make. This was not the choice to make. I just can't believe. If you want to help her, you feel you connected and you want to help her privately, I understand. But going out there spitting these lies, it is sickening. And I no longer have empathy or any time. Best of luck, Elaine. Disappointed is all I can say here. This narrative she's going through, we're going to watch the other one. I just want to clip this portion before we get there, so don't go anywhere. We're going to watch the next the Today's Show again so we can react together with Kim. Trying to play this like, we didn't get to have all the evidence. The UK judge already sided with us. Now you'll never believe victims. All three of these talking points she's doing over again are offensive to the real victims. And you're proving once again how despicable you are, because we have them in our community, and you guys are so brave. So many of you called up. When Amber took that stand, Kim, no one bought it. No one bought it. And we have so many amazing brave warriors, as we call them here, who just got so triggered and bothered because they just did not believe her, and they were triggered by her. She was the one who reminded, and a lot of women feel they were triggered because she had the traits in the audio tapes, the constant text messaging never allowed. There was so much stuff that pointed to Amber being the issue, not Johnny. And that's why we believe it. The credibility, the changing of stories. There's so many reasons why we don't believe Amber. And I'm so sick and tired of Justice for Johnny and fans of his being vilified because we want the truth. Like that's how literally they're trying to spin it. We're all toxic trolls who are creating the gladiatorial bloodbath that is, we're all responsible for the threats, Kim. Oh my God, how many times do I have to say, stop, don't even engage with Amber. Leave her alone. Do not get caught as a fan of this movement doing something that they can spin and use to their benefit. It's just idiotic to me. And so I'm triggered. I'm frustrated. We've said it so many times.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to attack anybody. We don't need to bully anybody. We don't need to harass anyone. We don't need to send DMs and be mean. We don't need that because we have evidence to back up what we're saying. So don't do that. Don't embarrass us.
But you know what you can do instead? You can support our sponsors and go over to sheathunderwear.com and use code POPCORN. Why? Because you appreciate what we do here, and you appreciate the people who step up and pay and support us and sponsor us. And because if you're a guy, you want more comfort, which Sheath Underwear is going to give you. Or if you have a man in your life, you're going to want to get this from. Heck, if you're a lady, why don't you try a pair? You can actually choose to use the pouch or not. That is a feature that I like, and they tell you about that. You may, it'll play like real underwear, like a little bit tighter of a boxer, with or without the pouch. You can choose it depending, gentlemen, the sizings of things. It should still work, and if one doesn't work, don't worry, it'll still be comfy and really aware. And they look at all this. I'm opening one more as we end this because I want to make sure you guys support our sponsors who believe in us and the coverage we're doing here. Make sure you use code POPCORN on checkout, and you're going to get 20%, and you're going to get one of these amazing beauties. Ooh, I like the blue. I didn't have a blue. Guys, now I got blue. It matches my shirt. And there it is, the pouch. Dual pouch system. Do you guys see it? One, you can use your imagination, ladies, or I guess you all know what it looks like. One, you got one here, and then you got a little hole which still is covered in another pouch inside. It's like a kangaroo to all our Australian. Hey, good day, mate. Good day, mate. So go support our sponsors who believe in us and like what we're doing here, because sometimes YouTube doesn't support us like the pouch does. Sheathunderwear.com. Make sure you go support, and then there's a link we're sharing out there. The mods are sharing right now, and I'll make sure it's also pinned in the comments as well in the description. Go to Sheath Underwear. Use code POPCORN. Use our link. You can shop by men, by women. Lots of styles you can choose from. Lots of comfortable things. I'm telling you guys, I'm not just doing this because they're supporting. I'm so grateful for their support. I really do think these are super comfy, and I do hope you'll give it a shot, buy a pair, and then let us know what you think. So thanks to Sheath for supporting us and our coverage. We are not done. If you're watching this live, we're going to go through so much more, but I am trimming this for the standalone video. So thanks again to Sheath. Thanks again to all you guys. Make sure to support It's Kim on YouTube, and don't go anywhere. We are not done. If you missed the full show, you know what you can do, guys? Hit that join button. My God, we've had so many members come in. I'm working on some new member benefits, exclusive content. You'll always get the replays of the show. So if you missed the full 3-4 hour show, go check out the members only playlist on the main channel page. And you can always catch it when if you missed it live, which a lot of you guys are doing. Thank you guys so much for your support. Stay tuned.